social media through the social universe, but in many cases the secrets of the universe itself. We also cover professional networking and nonprofits. So today we're talking about the birth of a nonprofit, and Selena, tell us the official name. I know it as Princess, but give me the official name of your nonprofit.
It's actually the Queen's Court.
Okay, very good. So the Queen's Court does the Princess program. Did I get that correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. So the Queen's Court is something that was kind of given rise to out of some things that happened in Selena's life. Selena, I know that you were entered the pageant, but tell us, how did that happen? You know, how does somebody, one day wake up and decide, okay, I think I'm going to be in the pageant?
I didn't wait. I mean, that definitely didn't happen to me. I just didn't wake up and say, hey, I'm going to join the pageant. Yeah, I know, right? So, but it was Easter. Actually, it was Easter egg hunt. I took the kids to one of the Filipino Association, which is Filipino American Association of Arizona. They have their annual Easter egg hunt at Estrella Mountain Park, and so I got the kids there, and they were talking about the Philippine Independence Day event, and they said they were going to have Mrs. Philippines Arizona. And because previously they had, the previous years they had Miss Philippines Arizona.
Okay.
So that was the first annual Mrs. Philippines Arizona, and they asked me if I would be interested, and I said, heck yeah, So I thought it would be fun,
Like a true queen.
That's right, right. I said,
hey, she didn't cuss though. She said that.
So I did, and I said, how do I enter? And they said, this is the process. So, and it was, the rest is history, I didn't know it was going to be as big as it was. So that's kind of what happened, how I got started.
Okay, excellent. So then obviously the rest was history. You were able to go through the pageant. Tell us a little bit about the pageant for somebody who, because I think the Queen's Court does help people prepare, who want to prepare for pageants. But what are some of the things that were kind of surprises to you as you went through the pageant that you may not have expected?
I mean, like I said, it wasn't something that I didn't think it was a real pageant, because like Miss Universe, I've seen all these different pageants on TV, and by the time I know it, it was like photo shoots, it was like evening gown, now I gotta find talent, so if for somebody who didn't have any experience, it was a shock to me. So I didn't have anybody that I knew who's been in a pageant, so what I did was I YouTubed Miss Universe so that I could learn how to walk and turn and see what kind of gowns they wear, you know what I mean? So I did all that. I did my own research, my YouTube research, and I was like, this could work,
See, that's the tie into social media right there. Is that
Right.
social media has true application to real life right there, folks.
Definitely. So I Googled hairstyle, for pageants, and that's kind of how I picked my dresses. I searched. In fact, I had to go all the way to LA to get a gown and figure all that out. But and that's why it was difficult, because for me, being a full-time mom, I have a full-time job, and I go to school. I'm taking my master's right now. I'm in my master's program, which is in business administration.
Okay.
I'm almost done. I have 2 more classes.
Amazing.
Yes. So that, and then going through the pageant, it was a lot of pressure for me, and not having the support system. I mean, my family was very supportive, but not having a coach and a mentor to walk me through the process was very difficult. So when I thought about the Queen's Court, I said, would it be nice if we have somebody or some organization that would, and I know some people are out there, but I think they're businesses or whatever. I mean, I don't know. I have not done a lot of research, but I don't know anything in Arizona that does the same thing. So that's where I developed the program and said, hey, you know what, let's do this and support the girls. And there's no age limit. I think you asked me that question. And, from little kids or whatever, but just kind of support them, help them with their poise, the way they talk, the way they walk, etiquette, and it's all volunteer work for people who have the talents on coaching these girls. And then it kind of evolved into, because it's basically empowering women, not only to do the pageants, but as well as starting their businesses, if they're starting their life, putting their life together from prison or whatever. And that's where the Princess Program come
into existence.
Into existence.
Okay,
So.
wonderful. And because you're right, I mean, to kind of do a tie-in, anything of beauty takes a lot of effort, and it's artistic. So anything that's beautiful or artistic takes some effort and time. And I think one of the big surprises a lot of people I've talked to have found out is that it is just a lot of work. So if you think you're going to wake up and become a pageant queen, definitely go talk to Selena and her program before you get started.
There's more to it than just being cute.
Yeah,
pretty.
Yeah,
it is.
A lot of hard
There's talent,
work.
there's
Definitely.
fundraising, there's just a whole lot of things that go
looking
on
for
with that.
sponsors. I didn't know anybody in Arizona. I mean,
Uh-huh.
when I joined, it was last year, so 2011. I moved here in 2005, but I was just so busy working and building our life here, and not knowing too many people. So asking for sponsorships, I didn't know who to ask, and so that was very difficult for me. So one of the things that we want to do for the girls is to help them beef up their resume, go out into the community, and do actual community services before they join the pageant. So when they ask for sponsorships, then they can say, hey, I did this, I've done this, and then it's a little bit more cool.
Yeah.
And for them to get sponsorship. And it gets very expensive. To buy your gown, to do your makeup, get your hair done,
And fundraise on top of that.
Fundraise, definitely.
So if you have corporate connections, by the time you get there, it always helps. And if you know how to spin it properly, then it really does help in the fundraising, as well as sponsoring yourself, not just a pageant, but sponsoring yourself. whether it's a
Definitely.
gala or-
And it's for the community. This is a whole. This event it's for the community, the Filipino American community. So I didn't really mind doing all that, but it's just a lot of work for one person. So I think if you have the support system and the coaching, the mentorship, I think it will make it easy for the girls. And all they have to do is show up and definitely. So
Tell us about the pageant itself. Some of the founders I know are Marie Cunning and B. Travis.
Mm-hmm.
Chavez. And they've done a wonderful job of representing the Filipino community, Filipino American community for the most part here in Arizona. I know Marie has done a really good job with the fashion side, and it's brought across. I think it's unrelated to the pageant itself, but it's brought across very high-end Filipino designers, fashion designers,
Mm-hmm.
and things of this nature. So, I definitely want to give Marie Cunning and the credit that they deserve for all the work. A lot of people don't realize how much work it is to put on a pageant as
Definitely.
well, on top of that.
Mhm.
And I hope if Marie is listening, I hope she's not mad at me for saying that, after the pageant, I saw her eyes were red, bloodshot red. And I don't think she slept for about 3 days.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of work goes into putting on a pageant,
Mhm.
and then the work that you have to go through as well.
Definitely, and that's why I wanted to, as the reigning queen. I mean, not the reigning queen, as a former queen. That's kind of my goal, is to really help out not only help mentor the reigning queen, but as well as the girls who are the runner-ups, if they want to do something for the community, help them out with projects, partner them with people who are willing to make a difference, if they want to do something like that. That would be something that we could collaborate with, and yeah, definitely I would love to help with, the pageant. I know it's a lot of work for Marie and B. I would like to really recognize them for the work they do for the Filipino community.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, almost unparalleled, and we really appreciate and respect them, both inside of the pageant as well as the things that they do for the Filipino
Mhm.
community in general, both in the Philippines and here in Arizona. So, excellent. We are going to take another commercial break. And when we come back from the break, we're going to talk about some of the things that we've been alluding to is how the birth of the non-profit, the Queen's Court, was actually how it occurred. So we'll look forward to tuning in after the break.